Like, I don't even know. Probably like 4 or 5 times a day between coffee and energy drinks. It's just one of those things where I'm so hyper all the time that when I drink caffeine, like it does nothing for me. So I don't even realize it that I've drank, 1 or 2 Celsius in the morning. I know it's bad for you. I know it is. But, I feel like it just makes me happy. Hello, everyone, and welcome to the first ever episode of Caffeine Happy. My name is Casey Gibson. For those who may not know me, I'm a 23-year-old tech working gal. I work from home, so which means I have many different hobbies in life. I also part-time work at a craft and beer wine bar, and I also do pageants. But I would love to introduce you guys to Kylie, and Kylie's going to do her own little intro.
Hi, y'all. I'm Kylie. I'm almost 23. I currently work in business, and I am a fur mom, a new fur mom at that. Have the cutest little Shih Tzu Bichon who has decided to be camera shy and wants nothing to do with us.
I know, and I'm very sad about this because I was so excited to see this dog. Kylie kept sending me pictures of this dog when it was like at the breeder and had like the cutest little photo. Like it's little. It was like the first day of school photo. It was the most cutest adorable thing ever. Yes,
He's still adorable. I will say, like, he has not gotten any less cute, and he did just get a haircut.
Oh my goodness.
So since I work at a business that allows dogs, basically he crashes after work because he plays with his friends all day and then literally is like, "Oh, I'm tired."
Oh my god. So your work actually allows the dogs to just come hang out?
Oh yeah. Well, so the way our business is we're on like basically in the middle of nowhere. We're on acres of land. So
What?
there's no one around us. So the dogs just
Interesting.
run around all day.
Wow. Okay, so how many little puppy friends does he have at work?
If everyone brings their dog, which it kind of goes in and out depending on the day, the week, there's 14 at a time.
Oh my gosh.
I know.
What? Okay, that is wild. But as Kylie sips a little bit last of her drink, we're gonna go into our first little segment of a drink of the day. Now that you guys know kind of who we are, we'll get into a little bit more in depth in a little bit. But Kylie and I at the same time are gonna pop tab our new little drink. You ready? In 3, 2, 1. Oh, wasn't that fantastic? That was so great. Oh my goodness, this is so good. Okay, so my drink of the choice today, this is Casey speaking. I have an energy seltzer. It's called Highball Energy it's a watermelon mint. I'd never had that combo before.
Intriguing.
0 calories, 0 sugar, and it's unsweetened. And if you know me, I love things very sweet. So this is definitely out of the norm for me, but it does have 160 milligrams of organic caffeine, which Kylie and I, before we got started, have no idea what the difference between regular and organic is. So I guess that's something we're gonna have to learn. But Kylie, tell us what do you have to drink for this?
Casey, I'm so glad you've asked. I have been influenced by the TikTok. We are drinking today Poppy watermelon. As you know, obviously, I have stomach issues, and apparently this is supposed to be good for stomach issues. Okay. I don't know if it's done anything.
No, it definitely is. And a funny story, I'm actually interviewing on my other podcast the owner of Poppy. Swear to God, yeah.
Can you get me a sweatsuit?
That's literally the only reason. I was like, lady, I want to interview with you because I really want one of those pink sweatsuits. But at this point, Kylie, like, we're just gonna have to make our own sweatsuits and like we can have our own little phrase, even if it's just caffeine period on it instead of just like how they had Poppy period. Like that's what we're gonna have to do.
I am a Poppy stan. I've been drinking it for like a week, maybe 2 at this point, and I'm obsessed. I've been trying to stick to 1 a day.
That's hard.
It's hard.
Yeah, that's too hard. And I know, like, I don't know what it is today. We both got on camera and I was like, oh yeah, I'm drinking this watermelon drink. And then Kylie goes, or she said she was drinking watermelon. I go, oh my gosh, I'm drinking watermelon. So it must just be the evening of watermelon drinks. But I think the watermelon flavor of Poppy is definitely my favorite. And then
really,
strawberry is my second favorite.
Okay, I want to reverse you. Strawberry's my favorite. I think my second favorite right now is cherry limeade.
Oh,
Have you not had that?
no, anything that's red freaks me out. I have a weird red
Oh, I
40
forgot about
allergy.
that.
And so anything that's red, even if it's like organic or like all natural, like I just
Yeah,
don't
no.
even risk it because I risked
No.
it with drinking so Cheerwine is one of our pageant sponsors for the national title I have.
Yeah.
And I had never had a Cheerwine. I just knew it was like cherry flavored.
Oh no.
And I drank it, and then immediately after was like, I need to go to the bathroom. Like, I'm going to puke because it was like 150% red 40. And I was like, oh, wow. Yeah.
Cassandra.
That was, it was a rough little time with my weird allergies. And I just had I had an allergic reaction this past week, which I haven't told my boss yet. So at the craft place I work at, we get a bunch of different, like, cool non-alcoholic drinks, and because there's a lot of people in our area that surprisingly, like I know a lot of the gym people I go to, they don't drink when they're like in a heavy challenge that we're doing at work, or I say work because I work at F45 as an influencer, but also go to it. I have a million jobs. But with F45, like a bunch of them don't drink. And so I was doing the taste testings, and with the taste testing, he was like, oh, I've been ordering stuff that has no grapefruit because I have another weird allergy of grapefruit and blueberries. And so he made sure there's no blueberries. He's like, oh, there's no grapefruit. And I drank half of this. It was like a clear, like soda water looking beverage. It was called Como. And now Kylie can see it, but the around of my lips are like bloodshot red. And then I have a bump right here from where it got to my lip. Yeah, so my lip has a rash on it. Around my mouth has a rash. And I feel bad, and I don't want to tell my boss, Zach, because he literally is just such a darling of a guy. I feel bad because he really was trying to, like, accommodate to my weird allergies.
It's so sweet, but drinks are just not for you.
No, and I have to be so careful. It's really annoying. But, yeah, now that I'm telling everybody all my weird allergies. But, I mean, you already talked about your stomach issue.
I mean, we could talk about my stomach issues. How much time we got?
I love it. Well, okay, Kylie, so I know we keep trying to pick into this, but what is your like first, I guess, memory of our friendship? I've really been trying to ponder on this, like, because there's just so many. We live together, so there's a lot of things that just interconnect at this point that I just can't remember.
You are exactly where I'm at, because literally when I think, I'm like, oh, let's think of, the first time I hung out with Casey or anything. I literally can't think of anything other than like when we were established friends, like we knew each other, like we're walking in and out of bedrooms,
Yeah,
and go get food.
The funny things, like I guess like the top three things that pop into my head when I think of like our friendship, and what I think truly at the moment was a little bit of anger, but really brought us closer together. There was one moment in particular. It was when I don't know who got COVID first. Either you had COVID or we had COVID. This was like peak COVID senior year.
You had COVID first, and
then
I got it like 3 to 4 months later. I avoided it the first time.
Yeah, because you didn't drink out of the same drink we were having at Renee's birthday. It was Kylie. It was Renee and Lexi and I all drank out of the sweet tea. And I don't even like sweet tea. And all of a sudden we end up with COVID. And I was like freaking out. I remember we went to the testing center 3 times in one day. And they're like, literally, you have COVID. Stop coming back. And we're like, there's no way. There's no way. Because it was like close to the first game day. So we were like, oh, like, it'll be fine. But the time you got COVID, I had just gone and stayed at my like 80-year-old grandma's house. And then you called, and this was on a Thursday afternoon. And I was like, no, like, I just have an ear infection. Like, I don't know why I don't feel good. Like, blah, blah, blah. Maybe this was the first time. And I thought you gave it to us.
No, because for backstory here, when we were in the height of COVID and went back to school, I had to get COVID swabbed every 3 to 4 days for when I worked. So I had occasionally not felt good, and like I got swabbed every 3 to 4 days, and a lot of the times I popped negative. The one time I popped positive, I had no symptoms. I did not feel bad at all, and like the health center's blowing up my phone because we're obviously in the height of COVID. Like I couldn't go to class, I couldn't work. So people are like blowing up my phone to basically say, get off campus, which I wasn't on campus to begin with. But so I popped positive. I was sitting in your room and I was like, why is the health center calling me?
Oh
And
my
then
god.
if you remember when you opened the screen from like the South Carolina health department, it was like blinking red at you, like
Yes.
positive.
Yes.
And then immediately the health center calls you and they're like, "Are you okay? What do you need?" And I'm like, "I feel fine."
Dude, I remember the CDC called me. Like the actual
Center for Disease Control.
yes, they called me and were like, we need to know like the people you've been in contact with. And I'm like sitting there on the phone, like I'm like in my brain, I'm like, this is basically like the health FBI. Like if I don't give them the correct answers, like they're gonna show up at our house and then they're gonna
They
like
knew
put an
who
X
you
on
were
our
in
door.
contact with. They have the list and they're like, "Name them."
Yeah, they're like, we want everyone. It's like when you get in trouble and they're like, okay, who else was involved? And you don't want to say anyone. And then they're like, we already have the list. You can just tell us. And so then you start giving up names like, oh, we didn't have that name. So then you got them in trouble. So
Yeah,
it
you
was
ratted
just
someone else out and
a
they ratted
whole
you.
mess. Exactly. So that was one of like the moments that I think definitely the whole COVID scene as a whole brought us together. The second one, I was so mad at you.
You were so mad at me.
I was so mad at you, but it was when you lost your AirPods. And
Oh my god.
Kylie tore this daggum house up, all of our bedrooms, her car, and then I don't know who opened the fridge. It was either you or Renee opened the
did.
fridge, and her yellow AirPod case was in the salad bowl. I remember. I couldn't help but just sit there and laugh at you because I'm like, this is the most Kylie Anderson thing I have ever seen.
I will say, looking back on it and in the moment, I was laughing very much. I still think that's the funniest thing ever. But you all like came in on the last hour I looked. There was 2 hours prior to that I looked for those.
I
This
just
is a
remember coming
3-hour endeavor.
you were in a panic, and I remember Renee was like standing beside your bed, and I'm like, because normally like when we were in college, like we didn't go in your bedroom. Like I don't know why, we just like I would come and sit on your floor
Because my bedroom was like 80 degrees constantly.
Oh yeah, you're right. That
Because
was
it was
that.
downstairs.
Yeah, it was
and your
always
all's
hot.
bedrooms were like a nice habitable temperature.
Oh, mine was so cold. It literally was amazing. And because I just love sleeping cold because I'll have tons of blankets. But I just remember standing in your bedroom and I was like, Kylie, you've got to have it here. And you were like doing that scary giggle of like, I've already looked and it's not here. And I'm like, Kylie, you haven't left the house. It has to be here. And so I remember going into your closet and I was like moving stuff around. And in my brain, I'm like, wow, this is what Kylie's closet looks like. And I'm like, looking around, taking it all in. Because I had really never like ventured into your room except for like your makeup drawer thing. I had looked at your makeup stuff because you had all of the Jeffree Star palettes, and I was like super jealous. I remember I was like, this is when Kylie and I bond. Like that's definitely it.
This was before Jeffree Star got canceled.
Yeah, oh yeah, he got canceled.
This was the height of Jeffree Star palettes.
Yeah, he just came out with a new one, and I sent it to my cousin because she's in beauty school, Grace, the one that you had met at one point. She was like, okay, why do I want to buy this palette? Like, I'm not a stan, but like this palette is actually cute. It's like a cotton candy palette. I think that's exactly what it is. It's so pretty. But yeah, so that's kind of like my okay. Oh, I didn't name the third one. My third one was when you weren't even there for this one. You were FaceTimed in. It was where we lived in college. I'm not going to name drop it, but where we lived, tried to find us for your broken bathtub.
My gosh.
And you didn't even, you never even had a crack in your bathtub. They're like, we had to replace the entire bathtub. And I'm like, there's no way. And I remember we went into our bedrooms and these poor girls, we had no idea who they were living in the house after we had already moved out. We knocked on the door.
What for the record?
Yeah, what these girls were amazing. I was like, Renee, I just walked up to the door and knocked on it, and Renee just started just spewing everything. Like, they're trying to find us. Can we please come into your house? And the girl was like, yeah, no biggie. I'm like, I promise we lived here. We were like showing her pictures like from living there and stuff. Like, I promise we lived here. And when we finally walked in, they were like, we were explaining to them like, yeah, like this is crazy. Like, and it literally had the same stupid toilet seat upstairs. Like, they never changed my toilet seat. Renee's room still had like issues or something. Like they didn't do anything. And I keep wondering, I'm like, one day that's going to hit my credit score and it's going to go bad because I never paid. But I'm like, I'm not paying you people. You didn't fix anything.
Collections is going to come for me one day about this. And I will literally refute these charges till I die. Because for the record, I moved in a year prior to you moving in. And like when we moved in, there were chunks out of the floor. There were chunks like out of the granite in the countertops, which granite feels like a very, very upscale word for whatever was on that counter.
Yeah, it was not that.
It was not that. The back porch and the front like walk-in area were disgusting. They were not power washed. They were not cleaned at all. And like the previous tenants had left stuff in there. So like they never did a walkthrough of our house before we moved in. I was the last of the 3 roommates to move in at that point. And we were kind of just like, well, what do we like, this isn't ours. What do we do with it?
Yeah.
Nobody ever came back for it. So I don't remember what happened. I assume someone disposed of it or like donated it.
Yeah.
It was like stuff that was outside, but it was like mats and stuff like that. And they were really gross and dirty.
Now that we're kind of just like we're just going to keep rolling on this topic because the apartment we lived in, at one point, I remember I was making chicken and I had just poured all of the chicken water that I was cleaning the chicken in down the sink, and the pipe rusted off and all of the dirty chicken water went all over the floor. And I don't remember who was there. I don't know what boy at the time we were all hanging out with or talking.
There was some boy there, and there
was always some boy there. And whoever was there was just like so unhelpful. And so we're all staring at each other. And I remember I'm just like yelling, and Renee is like sitting there giggling. And I'm like, why are you laughing? Like, this isn't funny. This is nasty water.
Oh, well, and it ruined everything under the sink. Like trash bags were covered in raw chicken water. Yeah, and at that point, you just don't even want to risk that. You just have to get rid of it.
No, and the other thing was we noticed that drip like months prior, and we're like, why is there a water dripping? It was on the dish tabs, like the things you put in the dishwasher was on that lid, the green lid of that stupid little box. Yeah. And then finally we look at it, and remember that macho man that used to come and change he always fixed all of our issues.
What
and
a homie.
He used to party with the people that I knew the year before that lived in the retreat, like in phase 2. He used to party with them.
I love how you said you weren't going to name our apartment complex and then went ahead and named it.
Oops.
It's okay. Well. You can probably find that somewhere on public records.
Well, yeah. Well, they have multiple of them because I almost tried to move to one in a different state, Georgia to be exact, because I was like,
they would not have let you in. They would have been like,
this girl. They're like, she has too many problems. Yeah, it would have been bad.
Like, this girl, her toilet seat, befuddling. It was broken.
It was broken, and it had these like almost like hard water pink stains on it because the condensation pan in the air vent, whatever, was above my bathroom, and so it leaked in through like the bathroom fan thing, and it leaked in and just kept dripping and dripping. I'm like, why are all my towels wet? Because my towel rack was under it, so it was just seeping all that nasty water.
And I remember you were like, why does my bathroom constantly smell like mildew?
Yes, and I
was turning on the fan. The fan was the problem.
I would turn on the fan and water would just start gushing out of it. I'm like, well, that's not normal.
I haven't seen this before.
I know, it's so weird. But yeah, so that's, I guess, our chronicles of a little bit of the deep dive of us living together. There's always good stories to pull out of that one because there was so many, oh Lord, so many incidents, but funny times, but so many Taco Bell sauces that really.
So many Taco Bell sauces.
Like we had a whole plate
constantly.
Yeah, it was like we go and get 25 packs. Like you max out the number in the app.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Oh yeah, because if you put, I think the max at that point was like 20.
Yeah.
Like they're not going to count 20 in there, but they'll probably put like 10.
Oh yeah, they'll put a whole little handful of it.
We'd be like, use 2, keep 8. And then at some point we would use like 1 down the line. Yeah, so we would just have a giant pile of sauces constantly that never went down.
Yeah, we should have just bought the bottles that you can buy of the Taco Bell sauce at the grocery store. I don't know why we never did that.
Probably because that would have made us spend money.
Oh yeah,
and we could get those for free with a purchase we were making anyway.
Facts. And I mean, and along with that, let's talk about it. Kylie, the times we live together and where we're at now, you know, like I said, it's cheaper than therapy. So tell me a little bit, what's going on with your life? What's happening since the last time we really caught up with everything going on that you're working on?
Well, let me give a quick Kylie PSA. As you know, I have gone through therapy many a time. Get you a good therapist because a good therapist will change your life. You will meet bad therapists that do not work with you. Get you a good therapist. Shout out to Catherine. She's my therapist. I love her. We are the best of friends. I look forward to seeing her every week. But let's really dive in here. What's cheaper than therapy? Well, a lot of things. But currently, my obsession, and this is an obsession I've had for years, is completely makeup. But I'm now started getting into hair care.
Ooh.
I know. I don't know if you watch Emily Kaiser on TikTok.
Yes, I do.
I love her hair videos.
Okay.
And since I do so much like moving throughout the day during work, I'm loving the half up, half down. But you know, your traditional half up, half downs, they get frizzy, they get messy, and you just look like a ragamuffin by the end of the day. Every girl feels me in this. They have thought they looked good from 8 to 4, saw themselves in the mirror at 4:30 and went, "Oh dear God." So during the Sephora sale, which I know was like a week ago, and I've only used it a few times, but
it's still going tonight, just letting you know. It ends like today.
Oh, I'm gonna put in another order, probably.
Okay, just checking.
Because have you met me?
Yes.
So I've been using the DAE, the Cactus Styling Cream, which is what Emily Kaiser uses. You can see my hair. Obviously, everyone listening cannot. But this has been my hair since about 6 o'clock this morning. It is now almost 6 o'clock in the evening, and there are no flyaways. Nothing.
And you still have good curl, and your braids are still intact.
Yes. It is like I'm looking good.
So Kylie's got like a half up. Do a little head turn for me so I can see it. She's got like a half up, half down almost. She's got braids coming in. She got little front pieces out, little curl at the bottom. Yeah. She's styling and profiling.
Thank you. I will say the back is a little messy because I did take out the clip that was in the back. So we're just not going to talk about that. But the way my hair looks right now, especially when you pull pieces back and tie them, like you are asking for frizz mania. And I have not had frizz all day. So I think it's out of stock because the sale, it went crazy. But if you find it at your local Sephora, get you 2 bottles. Not 1, get you 2 bottles. And you'll thank me later.
That's a good one. I'm trying to think what really is my cheaper than therapy purchase, honestly, of this week. Lord have mercy. I spend my life on Amazon, and it's just too much. I'd probably have to say, so I had the original Stanley. And I liked my original Stanley, but my lid would never stay like tight. And if I did it too tight, I could never get it off. And so I'd always have to, I work out, but I don't work out good enough to where I can get my Stanley lid off. Okay. And it always poured water everywhere. So, I did everything that the TikTok gods told me to do. Buy the little rubber things to put it in the hole so it won't drip. Yeah. It doesn't work. So I wasted like $8 on like 25 little rubber mason jar caps that I have no idea what to do with now. So I actually went back on Amazon because I saw a girl I follow on TikTok. Let me find out what her name is. But she was going to her like baby, I guess like checkups. And she's like 38 weeks pregnant or something crazy. Let me find this girl's name because she is a 10 out of 10 and definitely my favorite TikToker for the past like hot minute. And she had a white Stanley. But I was like, I will not go through the pain of spending another, $50 to get another Stanley. I was like, I'm not doing it.
They're not cheap.
No, they're not cheap. And I was like, I can't do it again. So I went on Amazon and got a new one. Okay, the girl's name is Kennedy Craddock. She goes by Ken Craddock, Craddic on TikTok, and I had been watching her since her wedding. She was the girl on TikTok. She blew up on TikTok around her wedding time. She went to like ASU. She was a cheerleader, married her, I guess, college sweetheart. He was also a cheerleader. And now they like work out together. She's like super pregnant. I'm pretty sure she's like 38 weeks pregnant. Like she's about to have this baby. And I feel like I know this girl. I'm like so invested in her life. So maybe that's what my achiever in therapy part is. But she had this white Stanley Cup, and I was like, I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it. So I bought the dupe for it. Looks the exact same. You would never know. And I'm showing Kylie in the camera, but you would literally never know. The handle is the exact same, and they now sell them on Shein as well. I saw it on Shein. It's the same one. Yep, and it's only like $20 on Shein. I think I paid $24 on Amazon. Same twist lid, everything, and it actually comes with my lid on this one's clear. My one on the pink Stanley, I had the real one. It was like a foggy white. I think it was like the weird like frosted lid, and I didn't like that, and so. Yeah, I think that's my achiever in therapy purchase this.
See, I will say you and I have the exact same toxic trait, which is money burns a hole in our pockets.
Oh, so fast. So fast.
Money is therapy. I'm sorry, you had a bad day? Ulta. I'm sorry, you had a good day? TJ Maxx.
Well, that's definitely going to be our whole next episode is like where you live versus where I live and things that we do, because it's so different. And then the next one will be like our relationship lives and what everybody else's lives are doing in relationships, because it's scary. Everyone's getting married. Like, mom, come get me. I'm scared.
I love that you say that, because I'm the one who's like perpetually single. You're the one who's looking at engagement rings with your boyfriend.
I think he bought it.
I hope he did. And first of all, the fact that he has not called or texted me either way, if he has bought it or if he is not, Eric, pick up the phone. He has your number.
He has your number. Yeah, he has your number. Yeah.
I know. Eric, if you're listening, I bet you're not. But if you are, pick up the phone and give me a call or a text and let me know what's going on.
Yeah, no, we're gonna have to do a catch up on that, because I mean it's happening from what I've been told.
It's happening.
It's happening before the end of 2023.
Shut up.
Yeah.
I did not hear this.
Yeah, you didn't hear it.
I will save all of my reactions for off air. It'll be way too long. I'm very excited.
So let's go ahead and cut it here. This is the first ever live recording of Caffeine Happy Podcast. Definitely check us out probably next week. If not next week, then the next. But we're glad you joined. And I'm Casey signing off.
I'm Kylie signing off. Thanks for joining us.
All right. Bye, guys.
Bye.